What's going on, everybody? This is Shampoo. Just got done watching the E3 Sony PS3 press conference. I mean, like, this is how you do a press conference, okay? Like, Sony pretty much shows Microsoft how to do it. Seriously. Like, they really just blew it out of the water. There was a little point where it was getting a little, like, a little stale a little bit. But, I mean, they picked it right back up and just, like, took massive shits, like diarrheas over the competition. And, all right, look, this is basically the rundown. Just like before, I got everything here pretty much in order. All right. First, they started talking about the PS2 stats and stuff and PS3 stats, which is all cool. And then they had a little shout out to Infamous showing, it's an exclusive title or whatever. Okay. And after that, they showed Uncharted 2. I mean, like, from the beginning, that got you excited. That game looks sick. And then they said the multiplayer beta. I mean, everybody knows that the beta is on the 3rd, but they were like, look, midnight tonight, the beta is open. I will be up there tonight, midnight. Shoot me a friend request, whatever. I mean, I already made a video about, the invite thing, so definitely do that. I'm going to be up there playing without a doubt. Then right after that, they showed MAG. I mean, full 256 people playing. I mean, some people might have looked at that and thought it was kind of broad just by how it looked, but that shit is going to be sick. I mean, it just looks nasty. I mean, I love squad-based shooters and all that. I mean, that's just like a dream come true when it comes to my first-person shooter, taste and everything. All right, and then after that, they kind of paced it pretty well because they got you real excited. And then they brought out all this information about the PSP, games about the City of Final Fantasy and then Assassin's Creed, which is cool for the PSP. And then they, showcased, the PSP Go and everything. And, I mean, that shit looks fly. I mean, like, I'm definitely going to get a PSP Go. It looks sweet. It's got some stats like 16 gigs of internal flash memory, built-in Wi-Fi, some other outstanding things. It's going to be $250. So, I mean, that's cool. It comes also with some other features like Media Go, so you can transfer, media from your computer to your PSP freely, very easily. And also something else called Sense Me. I think it senses your computer's music library and automatically syncs it in or something like that, which is sweet too. I mean, because I got a PSP and I'm into the PSP. I mean, PSP is dope. Other thing, they also got the video delivery service on the PSP now, which is cool. I mean, that's definitely sweet. They're bringing that to the PSP. Let me see. The PlayStation Store also just kind of blew up because they got a whole bunch of different partnerships now with Showtime, the Anime Network, and other anime shit, and G4 TV. So, I mean, that is dope, man. I'm a huge anime fan, so I'm definitely down with that. Gran Turismo PSP, I mean, that shit looked great. And just like you said, I mean, it's not a dumbed down game. It's like a full-on game for the PSP. So that shit definitely looked hot. And I'm not even real big racing game fan, like I said before, but probably gonna get that. And then they showed the Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I mean, they say it as a true sequel to the series. And for the PSP, that shit looks dope, man. I'm definitely gonna get that, without a doubt. And then, they announced that they're gonna have a Resident Evil game solely for the PSP. They're gonna bring Little Big Planet to the PSP. And also the Soul Calibur. Love Soul Calibur. Love fighting games. Gotta get that. Okay. Now, after that, they kind of just went back to the PS3, which everybody was kind of waiting on, So at that point, I thought it was good. They got you excited. They did, did their little run down the PSP. And then, boom, they're coming straight back at you with the PlayStation stuff. Started talking about Home, just for people that didn't know about Home. And then they started talking about the PlayStation Network. And okay, me personally, there is no bigger game that you can release on your PlayStation Network for classic PlayStation games other than a very few classic games such as Lunar and motherfucking Final Fantasy VII. And they have it up there now from what they say. I will be copping that shit. I made a video about that game earlier. That's my favorite game of all time. It can't, me personally, it cannot be touched. If you want to know why, go check out that video. But I mean, I already got the game on my PSP. I actually got the original shit right here that I can probably throw in my PS3 also, but I'm going to download it just for the hell of it. Love FF. But anyways, they showed a montage video because he was saying that, hey, it's impossible to go through all the games that have come out for the PS3, which honestly is a very true fact. I mean, you watch that montage and there was a lot of games in there. It was like, God damn. Like, that's a lot of fucking games. That montage was not short, but it gave you good insight on the games. And then after that, they showed Agent. It's a game solely made by Rockstar. They didn't really show any gameplay of it, but I mean, Rockstar making a PS3 exclusive, you can bet that it's going to be a dope game, without a doubt. All right, and then they were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and show a multi-platform game. So they showed Assassin's Creed 2. Looks like it's going to be a good game. I liked part 1. I didn't think it was great, but, you know, Assassin's Creed 2 can definitely build on top of that and make a great game. And then after that, they showed Final Fantasy 13. Now, it's another multi-platform game. And that shit looks, I mean, come on. I mean, it's Final Fantasy. It looks great. But then right after that, they show Final Fantasy 14 online. Like, I'm copping it, man. Like, it's just Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is the shit. Definitely copping Final Fantasy 14 online. And then right after that, like, they just blew my fucking mind away with that new motion controller that uses the PlayStation Eye. Like, okay, you got the Wii and you got this new Natal project by Microsoft. Okay, the Wii has the motion controller, you know, originator of that shit for consoles. That's cool. It works well, but I haven't seen nothing that is as pinpoint accurate as what they were showing on this fucking PlayStation shit. That shit was phenomenal. Whether the controls look like that, the final product or not, I mean, that shit was fucking sick. That shit blew my mind away, man. Especially when they were doing the bow and arrow. He was reaching into his back to the quiver, taking out the arrow, pulling it back, and then he showed him like twist the bow so you could shoot it like, I mean, that was just nasty. And they showed like the flashlight and everything. I mean, that is pushing things forward right there. And comparing that to Microsoft Natal project, I mean, Natal is definitely still a sick ass piece of technology, but Natal, just like the Truth MVP said, you know, it's more of virtual reality. You know, I want to play games. You know, I want to just about video games. And I think PlayStation with this motion controller is really doing that with this. I mean, just like the guy was saying that was showcasing it. You know, it just wouldn't feel right without a button, you know, when you're shooting something. It just doesn't feel right. You know, picture yourself in the tall going like this or something. I mean, what the fuck? You know, it just something. I really think that they showed up. They had something to go against the Natal project, and they definitely, in my opinion, was better. I mean, that shit was nasty. It really was.